Hello, and thank you for joining my virtual poster presentation on developments in peer review during the COVID-19 pandemic. The need to rapidly disseminate key findings from medical and life sciences research has been boosted dramatically by a significant increase in the usage of preprint servers over the last 18 months. A lot has already been said about both the opportunities and the risks posed by preprint servers, so I intend instead to look at recent developments in the challenge that follows the posting of preprints, how to rapidly peer review these papers, and certify their findings as reliable and trustworthy. In this presentation, I will take you through some of the different methods being used by various preprint servers, journals, and publishers to turn preprints into published papers as efficiently as possible. It's worth noting that although I've grouped these initiatives by their common features, all of these strategies are somewhat unique and fluid in their approach, and are simply different points on a spectrum of approaches to peer review. Publish then review models encourage an open and transparent review process whereby an article is first published or posted as a preprint and then peer reviewed. Platforms such as ScienceOpen have long worked with journals to enable authors to publish their work immediately, with the subsequent peer review and revisions then creating a transparent dialogue between author and reviewer. From July 2021, the publisher eLife will only review manuscripts that have already been posted on a preprint server. In the words of their editors, "For all practical purposes, eLife is no longer a publisher. Rather, eLife is now an organization that reviews and certifies papers that have already been published." Under this model, the selection of a paper for publication becomes a badge of approval, denoting that the paper has been rigorously peer-reviewed. Meanwhile, the MIT Press journal Rapid Reviews COVID-19 functions as an overlay journal, soliciting reviews of key articles on various preprint servers, which assess how much trust readers should place in the article. The overlay journal bridges the gap between a preprint and a published article, and helps readers understand the reliability of a preprint before it's been formally published. Portfolio review is the term I use to apply to two initiatives announced in 2020 and 2021 that seek to help authors find the right home for their paper within a publisher's portfolio. Although there are many differences between the two pilots, Cell Press's Community Review and Nature's Guided OA both involve asking authors to make a single submission, which is assessed and reviewed before the author is directed towards the most suitable journal for their paper. This system reduces the duplication of reviewers' efforts, ensuring that the work performed by reviewers is not then repeated by reviewers on multiple different journals if the author is rejected by their first choice. Although still both pilot schemes, these services may speed up the peer review process by eliminating reviewer fatigue and cutting out the need for multiple rounds of review for different journals. These initiatives may also be beneficial to authors of multidisciplinary research or authors outside of academia who may be unsure of the best place for their research. Another method employed by journals and publishers to speed up review is simply to ask reviewers to return their reviews within a short time frame. Many journals will already have had their own fast-track review process in place before the pandemic, and many will have utilized these to speed up the review of COVID-related papers, as reported in a recent study in Quantitative Science Studies. Specifically responding to the COVID-19 pandemic, in April 2020, a group of scholarly communication organizations, including PLOS, Hindawi, and BMC, amongst many others, signed an open letter calling for volunteer reviewers who could commit to the rapid review of COVID papers. This established an innovative cross-publisher pool of reviewers who could review vital research within a very short time frame, thanks to the hard work of the reviewers themselves. Finally, publishers including Wiley, Elsevier, and BMJ all employ an article transfer service. This encourages authors and editors to redirect a paper to an alternative journal if rejected from their first choice. The receiving journal can use the prior reviews to inform its initial decision, again reducing the duplication of reviewers' efforts. These initiatives are just some of the many steps taken by scholarly communications organizations to decrease the time taken to peer review articles and ensure key research is reviewed as thoroughly but efficiently as possible. The COVID-19 pandemic has shone a light on which stages of the traditional peer review process can be improved, and the varied responses taken by different publishers show that there is still lots of room for the publishing industry to innovate in its approaches to peer review. Please do feel free to get in touch with myself with any questions or comments. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching my presentation, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.